Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we have Janet Phillip with us to share her indirect route experience. She will be talking about the route she had chosen, her package, and overall her experience throughout the journey. So over to you, Janet.
Hi Sneha, so happy to be a part of your YouTube channel. Myself, I'm Janet Phillip. So right now I'm doing mobile solutions development in Conestoga College, Waterloo campus. So the route that I had taken was Bangalore to Delhi, Delhi to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Mexico, and Mexico to Toronto.
Okay, so as I've already mentioned your route, so can you just share the package and when did you travel and where is your agency located?
Okay, so I traveled on the 12th of July from Bangalore, and also my flight was in the evening and midnight around 2. It was from Delhi to Frankfurt, so it was around a 9-hour flight.
Okay.
And then I reached Frankfurt around 8 in the morning, and from there it was 1:30, so there was a good layover, and afternoon 1:30 from Frankfurt to Mexico. And I stayed in Mexico for around 3 days, and from there my journey continued. So from there it was around a 4-hour flight to Toronto. So yeah, on 16th I reached Toronto.
So what is the package? Sorry.
Yeah, so the package, it came up to around 1.6, excluding the hotel expenses. And my agency was UniWorld Global. So they're based out of Delhi.
The name?
It's UniWorld, the Leh Travel World, UniWorld Global. So it's an agency based out of Delhi. So they helped us out with the entire process. It was a really nice experience with them as well. So yeah, they coordinated the entire program.
Okay. So you said you started your journey from Bangalore and then to Delhi, right? So how was your immigration in Bangalore and Delhi during this pandemic? As we know that India is facing a lot of issues. So I'm guessing that you didn't have any problem there. So can you just share about that?
Yeah, so in Bangalore, you won't have any immigration process as in such, because it'll be a domestic travel, right? So from here to Delhi, there would not be any, immigration as in such. So it's going to be just a normal domestic travel, and your immigration starts from Delhi. So your first immigration will be at Delhi, and for me, it was a transit via Frankfurt, so no immigration there. Okay. And the one in Delhi was quite smooth. They just asked me for my LOA, my passport, then my negative COVID. So this negative report stands right from Bangalore. So you need to have your negative report and your LOA starting from from your source of journey. So that's very important. So do ensure that you have these two documents always in your hands, so it becomes handy wherever you keep traveling to. And while transiting, also it's a normal transit. You do not require any documentation or any immigration process to go through. And in Mexico, yes, there was one, and in Canada as well.
So, okay. So in Frankfurt and Mexico also, they just asked you like this basic documents like your LOA, your RT-PCR result, and your visa, obviously. That's all?
Yeah, and also in Mexico, they would give you a form. Okay, so in order to enter Mexico, usually the airlines provide you a form which you have to fill. So a part of it which would be with you, and a part of it you would have to give it to them. So once you exit from there, that the part that you have with you will also be taken away. So that's your ensure that you have that document. Otherwise, you would not be allowed entry to Mexico. So ensure that you have that document with you in case the airlines would 100% definitely provide you with a document. So I think that should be fine. And in Mexico, so the immigration out there, they would ask you for your purpose of visit. So just be honest in your answers. And so they would give you, just stamp the document that I spoke about right now. So once that's done, on exit from Mexico, and on entry into Canada, you should also be providing the similar set of documents. But I always ensure that I have around 2 set of documents always at hand. So I had carry a set of 2 sets of copies of all my documents set. So in case I'm questioned, I can, provide it to the officers. So apart from that, I think my journey, not much of documents were luckily asked. So this was almost everywhere the same set of documents had to be handed over.
Okay. So when you're traveling, your classes were already started, right?
Yes, my classes had begun. So I had been doing it online from India. Okay. And so when you travel, make sure that it does not, usually clash with your exam dates or any of your dates of included in your schedule. So make sure you choose a day that suits you the best, and so that you can travel without any, hassles. And yeah, so from here also right now it's remote.
Okay. So Janet, like as you have shared that your RT-PCR was from Mexico, right? So how long did they take to provide, with the results? Like,
okay, so as I told, like 13th I started from India. So on so once you reach Mexico, so on the 14th I reached. So I took my RT-PCR on the 15th. Okay. So 15th of July, and I went to the airport. So it's usually done in the airport. So ensure before you exit out of the Mexico airport, you convert your currencies as well, because they accept only Mexican currencies. Okay. So ensure that when you exit, so there would be a currency exchange there, right? So ensure that you get your currency converted, and then progress exiting out of the airport. And once you are out, hold it, or rather get a testing done almost closer to your departure time, because Canada accepts only 72 hours or before. Right. So that has to be taken care of. And I got mine done on the 15th afternoon. And I think by evening, my results were ready. So it was a negative one. So then from there, you have to carry. Then from there, your report from India is no longer valid. So you have to carry that negative certificate from there onwards.
Okay. So Janet, I would like to ask you one question. Like many students were asking me, like when we should travel. Like the students who are traveling right now, for some people they have started their classes from India itself, and some they are going to start their classes. So for the people who are going to start their classes, when they should travel, like how many days prior to their classes, or maybe after their classes, is that going to affect their journey?
So if you're going to start prior to your classes, ensure you do not travel 2 weeks, maximum 2 weeks before your classes. Okay. Yeah, maximum 2 weeks. Don't travel like a month before, because there are chances of being highly questioned. Why are you traveling? Yeah. This early. So ensure you travel around 2 or max 2.5 weeks. Not don't set a date earlier to it. Okay. So and the ones who've started their course, like I told before, ensure that your exam dates don't clash. Your classes also don't clash. So preferably choose a weekend to travel, because it's going to be a long journey. So ensure you have the time and bandwidth to actually travel.
Okay. So Janet, finally, I would like to ask you, like, what was your immigration experience in Canada?
Immigration experience was really smooth. I think right from my journey, from the start, it was very smooth. Mm-hmm. So provided you have your documents, it's all going to be fine. And the immigration officer in Canada, she asked me about what am I carrying any spices or such things in my luggage? If my luggage is okay. And if that's fine, then they ask you for your documents, for your negative report from Mexico, from the last transited country. Then they would ask you for your LOA, and you also need to do a basic analysis once you go towards the immigration section. So based on that, they would question you further. So I think I traveled with my friends. So both of us, for that matter, we were not asked much. So these were the documents that they asked. So everywhere it's either LOA, your passport and visa, of course, and your COVID negative certificate. And also ensure your currently enrolled letter is also handy with you, because yeah, your enrollment letter. And you will be questioned as to why you are traveling at this point of time if your classes are remote. So ensure you give an appropriate answer for that as well.
So for that, you can keep your timetable with you, right?
Yes, and also you can say that, you know, your if for example, I had my classes in the midnight, so that was very inconvenient for me, and that's the same reason I gave. And also I have a co-op in my as part of my program, so I even reasoned out that I have to be in Canada before the time that's been allotted to me. So these were the two reasons why I had to travel. So likewise, if you have other reasons, and you can, you know, make sure that as long as they find it honest enough, you can give it to them.
So Janet, do you have any knowledge about the vaccines? Like some people have asked me, like we have taken Covaxin from India, so how we can travel to Canada? If at all we come here, do we need to take again some vaccines? So do you have any knowledge about that?
Okay, so you Covaxin is not you know, accepted in Canada right now. Yeah, it's not approved. So it's only Covishield. You will have to take Covishield. So you will have to be doubly vaccinated. So yeah, one more point is I was doubly vaccinated. So I had my 2 doses taken prior travel. So my second dose was taken around 15 days before my date of travel. Okay, so ensure you are, you know, it would be the best option to ensure that you're doubly vaccinated, because you will be exempted from the 14 days mandatory quarantine. So
only if it's Covishield, right?
It's Covishield only, and if you have 2 doses of it taken. If that's the case,
is not going to work here.
Sorry,
Covaxin is not going to help you for that.
No. Covaxin is not approved by Canadian government, so you would have to take Covishield, and ensure both your doses are done well prior to your journey. Also, it's better if you have both your doses taken, because you do not have to do the 3-day total quarantine and 11 days tertiary quarantine. So you will be exempted from that.
Okay. So Janet, I have a doubt here. Like the people who are like vaccinated by Covaxin, so in that case, they are exempted for this hotel quarantine, or they will not?
They would not be allowed to enter Canada. No.
They can't.
Covishield is the only approved one.
Like they can't enter Canada?
So they would check your documents, right? So only you have to have a valid, you know, vaccine that's been approved by the Canadian government to even start your, you know, otherwise there are chances you will be sent back to your home country. So do not do that. Just ensure that, you know, you check. As of now, it's only Covishield that's been accepted by Canada. So ensure that you have the approved, you know, vaccines by the government. Otherwise, your immigration would be quite, and I'm sure they wouldn't allow you either. I think that's one of the prerequisites when you check the government website, that they stress upon this point, that you have a vaccine that's approved by the Canadian government. So ensure you have it.
Like I had this doubt because when I was traveling, this was not compulsory. So I had no knowledge about this, but I guess now it's compulsory. Even if you are vaccinated, or like if you have taken Covaxin, you have to take Covishield first, and then only you can travel, right?
Yeah, because they've made it a mandate that only Covishield, you know, is allowed. Yeah. So we have to ensure that, because a couple of...
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this would be helpful to many students. So anything you would like to add here? Sorry, you were saying something, I guess.
No, I was just saying that ensure you know, even if you're Covaxin, ensure you switch to Covishield. Otherwise, you will face unnecessary, you know, hassles throughout. So yeah, ensure that these are the documents that are checked right from the start. So if you do not have that right, it'll be quite a problem.
Okay.
So yeah.
So Janet, finally you are settled in Canada. I'm hoping that you are settled. So are you working right now? And if yes, how did you manage to get this job?
Okay, so the first thing that I came to Canada was to, like, you know, take time to settle down, because in order to get my SIN number, to get all the, you know, basic things sorted out first, and then I started searching for a job. So for a part-time job, because I'm only entitled for 20 hours per week. So I just applied on Indeed. So Indeed actually helps you. So I just applied to a couple of, part-time availabilities there. And yeah, I got through one, and I would be starting my, work next week. So yeah.
All the best for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we have covered all the important points. Everything we have included, almost everything. So thank you, Janet, for your valuable time, and thank you guys for hearing us. I hope this video is helpful to all students who are watching this. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.